I 100% need one of these in my size. Hi, my name is Emily Crow from Crochet Creations. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is episode 15 of the Crochet and Knitting Podcast. Welcome, welcome. If you're new here, I'm so happy to have you. I hope that you decide to stick around, and if you're back, I'm so glad you're here again, and I hope that you enjoy seeing some projects I've worked on before, as well as new things that I haven't shown before here on my podcast. Do I need to say anything else? Like I said, my name is Emily, and I am a crochet and knitwear designer, maker, hobbyist, all of the above. I'm currently living in the Bay Area of California with my little family. I've got a toddler, Georgia. She is a year and a half, and then my husband and our cat, which actually is my cat. My husband doesn't want to claim our cat, but I have a cat too, and I love him. Anyway, that's a little bit about me, and let's jump right into it. I think this is going to be kind of a long video because even though I don't have any acquisitions. Wow. I have a lot of FOs and a lot of whips to show you. So let's just jump right into it. Freak. Ah. Okay, so I had to complete a couple test knits that had deadlines since my last podcast, and so I finished those things, and so I want to share them with you. First and foremost, I finished the Petite Souffle. This is a pattern by Laura of Penrose Knits, and it is part of her souffle collection that she's putting together. She already has the souffle, which is a mohair top that uses the same ruffling detail out, and then this is the Petite Souffle. She has the summer souffle that'll be coming out really, really soon. I think before even this pattern comes out. She got a strappy souffle that I think she said will come out sometime next spring. Anyway, she's loving the ruffles, and I'm loving it too. I love her style and design aesthetic, and so I was really grateful that I could test for her. And just look at this beautiful ruffle. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. I need one of these. I have the yarn to make myself a souffle, and I haven't started yet, but I definitely need to. Oh my goodness, so cute. And just the placement is just really feminine and cute. I made the 1 to 2 year size for my daughter. Like I said, she is 18 months-ish. Well, she's like 19 months now. It's fine. She's a year and a half. Anyway, but she is wearing 24-month clothes. This is a perfect fit for her. There's a little bit of room to grow, so she'll be able to wear. I'm not sure. I hope that it'll fit her when the weather starts to cool down again later on this year, but I guess it depends on how fast she grows. It's one of those things where she's probably going to be in this size of clothing for a long time, then all of a sudden she's not going to fit it anymore. So we shall see, but I have some beautiful, beautiful pictures. It looks so freaking cute on her. This is in Barocco Vintage DK, which is a merino acrylic blend. Ooh, maybe there's nylon in there too. I can't quite remember, but it is a DK weight, and it's in this beautiful tealy green color. My lighting is not perfect, but that's pretty true. That's pretty true. It's got this cute keyhole enclosure in the back. Boop. And you'll see there's an applied I-cord edging, which is new for me. I've done a little bit of I-cord stuff before, but never an applied I-cord. So that was really cool to be able to do that for the first time. There's also a folded hem, which was also a new thing that I tried out, and I talked about it a little bit on my last podcast. I definitely need to practice the skill because I don't think it's perfect, but I'm proud of myself. I think I did a pretty good job with the folded hem. It gives it a nice weight, and it's just a little bit finicky to do it in the best way possible. It's an easy technique, but it's a little bit trickier to do it well, if that makes sense. So I'm really happy to have that done. Like I said, the pattern is coming out very soon, so keep an eye out for that. I think it goes up to maybe size 10 youth, and so most kids will fit into the size range. I wish it had some sizing for some itty bitty babies, but that would only be for a photo op, I guess, so it's fine. Anyway, my daughter loves this sweater. She wore it already, and she had a lot of fun. It was so cute. I showed it to her when I had it finished, and she just pointed to it and then pointed to herself. So cute. She wanted to wear it. I'm glad that she likes it. She doesn't have a lot of preferences as far as knits go because she can't really voice an opinion. So I am taking full advantage of being able to make her things that I want to make in the colors and yarns that I want to make them in, and then she'll just enjoy it for what it is. The next test knit that I have is actually a pair of socks, also for Georgia. I am on a little item test knit kick. I had to say that very slowly to make sure I got it right, but mostly because it's a little bit easier to test for child sizes. There's less of a supply of testers for smaller sizes, and so it's easier for me to be able to test like a child size for my daughter than to test a size for me, for example. So I've been doing that. These are the First Bloom socks by Roro and Cades. I'm using a Sorella Oopsie skein. So Sorella yarn will have extra skeins for less expensive that you can buy. Sometimes they're the actual colors and they're just a couple extras, but usually they are, you know, slightly off dyed yarn or like a color that didn't make it into a collection. Still beautiful yarn, super fun sagey green, lots of variation in this tonal. And this is why I really want to do this test, because of that texture detail with the flower. Isn't it so cool? I love it. It's really neat to see. It was really fun to work up too. I also did a German short row heel. This was, I think, my first time doing a German short row, or one of my first times doing a German short row heel. So that was fun to be able to do that. I would love to make it for my size, but I've not gotten that far. My first sock had a little bit more issues with like tension and stuff, but my second sock, I think I did pretty good with the heel. So I'm happy with how they turned out. All the green things for my daughter, which is kind of funny, but that was a really fun test knit to be able to do. It's nice making little socks, though now that she's getting bigger and bigger. Those were a 48 stitch count sock, which is a little bit big on her, but not by much, and it's just not as quick as doing like a 40 stitch or 32 stitch count sock. And then another finished object I have to show you. This is part of Sarah Shira's Mystery Gnome knit along that I guess just finished. They haven't done prizes yet as of me filming this right now, but all the clues have been out for like a week now. So I finished this right after it started. So this shouldn't be a spoiler, but just, I guess, FYI if you're really trying to avoid the spoilers. This is my gnome, and it is Make Gnome Mistake. So cute! Oh my goodness. Also using Sorella yarn. This is all from her Taylor Swift collection. I've got Cardigan is the white, Ivy's the green, and then this purple, pinky, mauve-y variegated color is All Too Well. So I was just using leftover scraps from socks, and I still have scraps for all of these. It used up quite a bit of yarn. I think it's a perfect scrap busting project, but I still have more of all these colors left, so I gotta figure out what to do. It's got this cute like square box bottom, a little bit of color work on the body, this interesting fringed beard, funky little nose, and the beautiful color work hat. Beautiful, beautiful. I love it. It's super cute. I'm nicknaming this my folklore gnome because it's all from Taylor Swift's collection, and he just seems like a woodsy little gnome. I don't know. So I love it. It's super cute. I put beans inside to kind of weigh it down so it'll stand upright, and it's just been living on my shelf up there and just bringing me a lot of joy. My last finished object that I have, I can't actually show because I gave it to the client, so this is a saga. But basically, long story short, I had one last custom order to do, and it was for a fingering weight bolero, and I made this bolero and I gave it to my client. This was a month or so ago, and it was too small. She tried it on, it didn't work. I was devastated because it already took me a long time to do, and that was my very last custom order. I was going to be done making products because it just wasn't worth my time to make them. I took it back. I had to rip it apart and basically rework it so that it could be the right size for her and a size that she was comfortable with. And so I went back and wish I had a good picture, but basically at the beginning my cardigan was, and I'll put a picture of what it looked like in the beginning before I had to disassemble it and like redo some of it, but my rows were just back and forth, were horizontal for the panels on the front and the back. And then to fix it, I guess to update it to make it a bigger size, I created rows perpendicular, so then I crocheted rows vertical along the panels to widen it, and then I closed it up so that there was now an armhole, and I added new sleeves. I finally finished it and it fit. Awesome. I got paid. I'm so done with custom orders. it was just not worth my time, and I had a really hard time pricing things appropriately and even like gauging how much time it would take me to make something. It was just not working out for me. Not a good fit for me. And so I stopped doing that. I'm so glad. I'm so glad it's done. I'm so glad she took it and she was happy with it. I kind of enjoyed the style. I don't think I would make the same thing. It was just like a little Bolero jacket, but I liked some of the elements I used, and so I might use that as a little bit of inspiration for our later design, but we'll see. I need a break from that. So that is my final FO, and I can't show it to you, but I'm so excited to have it done and off my plate, because that's what I focused a lot of time on for the last couple days before I took it to my client. So glad that I finished that. Okay, now is another big section. I want to talk about whips. I've got lots to show you, including some new things that I haven't shown before. So super exciting. I am also really excited. I'm just all the excitement. I got lots of knitting and crochet done these past couple weeks. I don't think like time-wise I had more time per se, but I feel like I was able to visualize a lot easier what I was working on and make some good progress. So I'm really happy with what I was able to accomplish. I'm feeling like I'm making progress in a lot of my projects, which is always invigorating, because when you are stuck in the slog and feel like you're not getting anywhere with your progress, then it can be really hard to keep wanting to invest time and effort into working on a project, and you might want to turn to something else that's more gratifying. Drum roll, please. I worked on my Find Your Fade shawl. Finally! It was just lingering for a while. I'd put in a couple rows here and there. It just really wasn't moving along, but I put in a significant amount of time over the past few days, and I have faded in my next color. This berry type color. This is called Studio. These are all Sorella yarn. Can you sense a trend? She's got some colors that I really love. And what I really love about her yarn is that it is so easy to know what you're getting when you order from her, because their photos are so true to color that there are no surprises. There are plenty of dyers that I do enjoy their work, but sometimes what I get in an order from them doesn't quite look like how I thought it would based on the pictures. And that's always kind of disappointing when you think you're getting one thing and it's just a little bit different. But Sorella yarn's always really true to color in the yarn that they photograph, and so I always can really depend on what they're showing me so that I know what I want to get. So that's something I really love about them. But this is from their Fall Tonals 2021 ceramic, and then this is cashmere, and then this is Studio, like I said. And then the final color will be Videri, which is like a warm chocolatey brown. So I'm fading this. I was kind of stopped because I didn't know if I was going to fade in the next section. My original plan was to do another section of the light pink, the cashmere, and then to fade. So I was fading from light to dark across the whole shawl, but I decided that I just needed more change and more interest in the shawl in order for me to keep working on it, because I was just getting kind of bored. And so I decided to just start fading in the next color. So I'm gonna fade in colors on every single garter stitch section. So it's gonna go from light to dark in the middle, and then dark back to light on the end. And I think I'm gonna really like that. I just finished fading in my berry color. Oh, freak. Computer's plugged in, so now I can continue on. I just finished fading in my berry color, and it's looking beautiful. You can see I actually put in a progress keeper so that you can see this is where I was at last time, and I put in some work. I'm so happy. I want to make this like a 30 minutes of knitting every day kind of thing, but I haven't quite sat down to figure that out because I'm not sure when I would do that. A lot of people do 30 minutes of knitting in the morning, and I just can't rely on that because who knows when my toddler will wake up, who knows when I will wake up, because sometimes I'm just exhausted. So we'll see, but I would love to just put in a little bit of time every day on this. I think that it'll come along nicely. I like to start with my more accountability projects first off, just to show the things I've been working on, and then you'll see my new whips at the end. So I finally picked up my Reverie socks again. This is a pattern from Pantone magazine. I have it right here. Issue 40. This was the spring issue. And Jessica of JS Threads and I are hosting a knit along with Summer Dreams Cal. So basically you make something from this issue of Pantone magazine finished before the first day of summer here in the Northern Hemisphere. It's June 21st. And then you'll be entered to win a prize package. I'm making stitch markers. Just created a beautiful sparkly pastel dream of a skein of yarn. I've seen it. It's beautiful. Oh my gosh. And we'll throw in a couple other goodies that are related to like sleep hygiene type stuff just for like pampering yourself. So we have a cute little prize package that we're putting together, but this is my project right now. Like I said, this is the Reverie sock, and I have a finished one here that I've shown before here on the podcast. That's basically what it'll look like. And the second one, I just finished the heel. I'd put it down because of my pattern test that I was working on, and I didn't need to finish in time for anything in particular, and so I wasn't worried about finishing in a specific time frame. I put it down and I just didn't pick it back up. It's a little bit tricky on the colorwork parts. I didn't want to take it with me. It wasn't quite as portable, but I was able to, in just last night, do this colorwork section and do the garter stitch heel. And so I'm super excited. Now I can move on to the rest of the sock. And there's another little colorwork portion right here, and then it'll be just plain stockinette, and then more color work right before the toe. So I am getting there. Oof, I don't know when I'll finish. I think I'll finish before next podcast. I would love to finish this before I go on our trip. We've got a trip. By the time you're watching this, we'll have already left, but we're going to Utah. My grandfather passed away earlier this year, so we're going to his memorial, and also seeing my husband's family because my husband's family is living in Utah as well. So I would love to have these finished before I leave. I don't think it'll happen. So we'll see when I get to it. But I'm glad I made some progress, and I really don't think they'll take long. I was most worried about the heel. Like, I definitely needed the pattern in front of me to work the heel, as well as the color work part. But now, I don't know, I just have a little bit of color work left, and then I'll have a nice break of no color work that I can just mindlessly knit and get a lot done. So honestly, I don't think this would take me long, but with everything around, you know, getting ready for a trip, I'm not sure it'll get done in time before we leave, but I don't really want to bring it with me, so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out what to talk about next. I'm surrounded by different whips. This project I'm really excited about. This is my Peekaboo Maxi Skirt by Knititude. I'm using Winnie Jo Fiber Co. in the color English Garden. It's beautiful, pale, warm pink with some pink variegation, peachy variegation. So pretty. A little bit of speckling too. So beautiful yarn. I'm really excited about it. I finished the waistband yesterday, and I was able to even like sew the elastic on my sewing machine really quick and close up the waistband and switch to my larger needles, and that's when I put it down. We were running out the door to go to church, and this is just too big of a project to take on the go at this point, so I did not want to bring it with me. But yeah, I finished the waistband, which is so exciting. It's a fold-over waistband, and the elastic is encased within it, and it's really not hard to sew it. Chantel recommends just like hand sewing it, but I had my machine, and I was able to just stretch the elastic out of my waistband, sew it, and I feel really good about how sturdy it is. And so if you have a machine, it's super easy to do on a machine too. I thought hand sewing might be a little bit more finicky, and since I had a machine, I just decided to do that. I've got my waistband for my skirt, and I think I have just a couple increase rows, and then I think I'm gonna knit straight stockinette for a while. So that'll be very mindless, very easy to work on, super springy and like summery. So I want to finish this fairly soon, but there is a lot of knitting. I have 4 skeins of yarn, and 2 of them are attached at the moment. I'm alternating skeins, but the others I haven't broken into at all yet. I have a lot of knitting left to go. It's like a knee length midi type of skirt. Yeah, so like midi or T-length, because it's a little bit longer than the knee. So I've got a lot of knitting to go on this. So we shall see how much progress I'll make on it. If I bring out my trip, it might be a lot. Who knows? Now I've got quite a few things to show you that I have not shown on my podcast yet, which is kind of crazy. I didn't feel like I was casting on a whole bunch of things, but kind of did, I guess. Okay, so first off, I want to show you, I am working on a video where I am reviewing different stroll yarns from Knit Picks. So they've got stroll tonal, just regular stroll, stroll tweed, stroll gradient, all sorts of stroll yarns. And so I got enough of each type to make a sock, and I'm making socks for my whole family. Yay! These will be their Christmas socks. I'm getting a good head start because I'm awesome. But I'm filming a video on this, and so you'll see more information about it. But I started my brother's sock. He wanted black and red, so I'm just using the basic stroll colors. So this is black and strawberry, so very punchy. I just finished the gusset decreases. This has been like my take with me, just a vanilla sock. So now I'm gonna work on the foot, and the toe will also be in red. This is just the very first sock, so I've got a little ways to go, but just chugging along. I think this will be my just take with me in the car, random walking around with a sock type of knitting. The black, would not recommend. I always thought people who complained about black yarn were just like, eyes were not good, or they were working on it in really low light, or I don't know. I thought they were making a big deal out of nothing. Anyway, it is kind of a pain. The biggest issue is that I can't see what I'm doing. So even though I can see all the stitches on my needle, especially for the ribbing, it was a huge pain because I couldn't tell if I was working into a knit stitch or a purl. It's just really tricky to see, especially when the lighting was not perfect. I would not recommend working with black yarn if you can help it. My other brother also wanted black yarn, but it's like a black tonal yarn, so I'm hoping that I'll have an easier time visualizing and, you know, seeing my ribbed stitches and whatnot. This has been a good, easy project that I'll probably start taking with me wherever I go, and just kind of putting in a little time here and there. Like I said, it's for Christmas, so I don't have a timeline in that sense, but I would love to finish all these socks for summer sock camp, and I would love to get this video out before summer sock camp ends, or at least like before the end of the year. I don't want to take too long with it, so I do want to kind of speed up what I'm doing and get some more work done on this so that I can make some good progress and make some socks for my family. I have 2 brothers and then my parents, so there's 4 socks in total, and then 1 pair of socks for me out of the stroll gradient yarn is kind of my plan. Not too many, but I've got lots of other things, so we'll see kind of how that goes. And something I wanted to add about the stroll yarn, I do have an affiliate link with Knit Picks and We Crochet, and they are like sister companies, but I have links for you, and if you purchase anything through those links, well, you don't get a discount. I do get a commission, and so that is a really easy way to support me by purchasing things you already would buy from Knit Picks or We Crochet through my link to help me out. And so I really appreciate you, and I'm really grateful for you for using those links to buy things. Another pair of socks. I'm gonna just throw this up here so you don't forget about what I've talked about. Well, I finished a cuff for a sock. You see, it's twisted rib, just 1 by 1, and that's because this is my own design. These will be my red Yucca socks. I've got this beautiful yarn from Sundial Designs that just reminded me of all the beautiful shades of the red yucca plant that I saw when I was visiting Arizona. I bought this in Arizona when we were visiting in April. I'll link my vlog up above. And I just was so inspired. I really wanted to knit these socks. I haven't made huge progress on it because I've just had all sorts of other things going on. But now I've got a cuff done. I am like ready to go. Now I'm gonna put in a lifeline because I need to play around with some lace stitches and patterning and whatnot so that if I have an issue I can just rip back, start over at the cuff. So I need to put in a lifeline. I need to remember to do that, and then I'll get started and just kind of play around with the stitch pattern and see what I come up with, since I only have 1 knit sock design right now, and it uses some color work and just some simple ribbing. So using like a lacy textured sock detail will be definitely pushing my limits, but it's inspiring me, and I kind of have an idea of what I want it to look like, so I'm hoping it won't be too tricky to figure out, but it will stretch me, and so I might need to do some frogging. So that will be coming up sometime soon. I hope that next podcast I can show you more of what the actual lace is going to look like, but if you'd be interested in testing for me, definitely keep it on your radar because it'll be coming sometime soon. Enough of the sock talk. We are going to move into a couple other whips that I have. I'm going to show you this one first. I'll leave the best for last. So this is an Aran weight hat made with, I use bulky yarn. It's a bulky weight hat that I casted on in June. Wait, you mean you didn't cast on a bulky weight hat in June? I thought everyone did that. I don't know why I did that, but that's just what was calling to me out of this book. This is Brioche Knitting by Graffiti Designs. Lesley Ann Robinson, she's got so many really cool brioche designs, and I did one brioche project, the Fortnite Shawl, by Knit Curious Megan Gonzalez, a friend of mine, and I wanted to do more brioche. And so when Page Street Publishing asked what book I wanted for the month, I asked if I could have the brioche knitting book that just recently came out. So cool, so many different projects and styles and designs. The hat is really what caught my attention. This is called Drama and Energy. Look at that texture. It is awesome with the shaping. So neat. I saw that design. I wanted to do something like that. I didn't realize it was an Aran weight. So I was kind of hoping that I could use fingering weight for it, but it's okay. I have some bulky weight in my stash that I'm using to make this hat, and it is coming along nicely. I've got about half of the full repeat done. So like 8 full rows out of 16, which is about a fifth of the body of the hat before I decrease. So cool. The texture is just so neat. I'm sure it'll look even better like when it's blocked and like sitting nicely. I am definitely no brioche expert. This is only my second brioche project, but I think it's beautiful. It's so intriguing. I've only had one mistake so far, and I tried to fix it, and I mean, color-wise I fixed it, but texture-wise, you can totally see there's a bar moving across there. That's not right, but it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine enough. I love, love, love these colors. And let's see, I'll pull out the colors separately so you can see a little easier. The purple is Caron X Pantone in Purple Mist. And the really light, like purpley gray, is actually the Hook Nook yarn in the Yummy base in the color Like a Dove. They go super well together. You'll see though that the texture is so different. This has like tons of different plies. Look, it's got tons of different plies, and they're all like, I wouldn't say that they're tightly bound together because it is a little bit splitty of a yarn. It's kind of a silky fiber, and so they look pretty straight. Whereas this yarn has like 2 big plies, and they're all very poofy, so you can see where they're like twisted on each other. It's kind of like roped together, but also like it is kind of loosely plied. I'm not a super fan of working with either of these yarns. I know I said it. These are from my stash, and when I was trying to figure out what yarn I wanted to use to make this hat, I do not have a lot of bulky in stash. I have 0 Aran, which is what this pattern calls for, and I just cast it on with reckless abandon with some bulky weight yarn that I had that I thought would be good enough. Hopefully it fits. I keep trying it on my head and it feels like it'll fit, so we'll see. This is the yarn that I had in my stash, and I thought these would look really good together, and I'm loving how these colors are playing, and just like the tones, the cool tones. Oh, so pretty. So I'm really excited to see how this continues to work up. I'm not sure exactly how well it'll block since they're acrylic yarns, but I think that even without blocking, they'll still look really neat, and it'll be really visually interesting to see, especially as the pattern continues. So I casted that on, and I'm really excited about it. I definitely don't need a hat now, but I'm enjoying it. It's a fun project. I'm doing it for the skill of working on my brioche. So I did mention that Page Street Publishing gave me this book. I am one of their ambassadors, so I get a free book a month from them in exchange for me just sharing about it on my social media once or twice. So not a big commitment, but I love crafting and I love books, and so I'm really grateful that they chose me as an ambassador so I could do this, and I've been collecting some books from them, which is really fun, but I don't have like any kind of a link with them or whatnot. But I definitely encourage you to support Lesley Ann Robinson because she has some really amazing brioche designs, really cool stuff, so I'll make sure to link her down below so you can find her. And then last but not least, the big whip. This is a big whip because it is a design using some indie dyed yarn that was gifted to me. I'm working with a dyer. Her name is Sarah from Dying Wishes Yarn, and she has an upcoming collection. She'll be announcing that mid-June, I think, and the pre-order will open, I I think July 8th is her plan, so near the beginning of July. She and I talked, and I'm designing a shawl using her yarn. I'm super, super excited. This is my first opportunity working directly with an indie dyer, not just purchasing the yarn myself and making the design, but actually collaborating, working together with her on kits. It's been really cool. And this yarn is beautiful. I have a little bit of her yarn. I bought La Casita from her Encanto collection, which was her first ever collection. It's really cool. She's got a lot of talent, and I want to build her up as a new dyer in the community and to hopefully share her work with other people if they see my content, since Instagram has not been my friend lately as far as sharing my content. Anyway, these colors have not been revealed yet, so it has to be in grayscale. So sorry about that, but you can see the design without color. Ta-da! This is my shawl so far. You start at the top and it goes down. One end is just gradually decreasing. The other end has got kind of like a swoop to it because I'm working short rows to make each row shorter and kind of put on a diagonal. So it's making almost like a wedge. I'm about to start the next cluster stitch section. I finished the mesh section. I'm on to the next cluster stitch section. So it's going to be about 5 sections in total. But yeah, oh, it'll be so cute. I'm so excited. And I got some whip photos by the beach and it looked so good. I'm not going to tell you what the colors are, but I think she's going to be putting together some kits and stuff with multiple colors of yarn, so you don't have to make the shawl out of the same colors as me. But I'm so excited for this opportunity, and I am really grateful for the chance to be able to work with her yarn and make this design. I'm really excited. So definitely keep an eye out so that you learn more about that when the yarn becomes available for pre-order. I'm so excited. It's coming along great. I know that is definitely a project that's coming with me on our trip to Utah. That is a lot. Lots of projects. Lots going on. I don't have any acquisitions, which is kind of crazy, but I've been making some purchases here and there, so hopefully I'll have some things coming in sometime soon. Also, I know that a lot of YouTube podcasters for the knitting and crochet community share the bags that they're working in. I only have a couple actual project bags, but I have like random tote bags. This is a reusable bag, like that aren't related, and so I don't really talk about my bags. But hopefully I'll get some more project bags in the future and I'll have lots more to talk about with them. But dreams and plans just coming up. So like I said, we're going on a trip. It'll be really nice to see family. I'm really looking forward to it. I don't want to call it a vacation because that's not our purpose, but I'm really looking forward to spending time with my side of the family as well as my husband's side of the family. It's not a super long trip, but I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully I'll get a chance to go to a yarn store or two while I'm out there. So there'll be a vlog coming soon where I share about what projects I'm packing for the trip, what I work on while we're there, any yarny content like visiting a yarn store. I made a vlog like that for Arizona, and I'm going to be styling this one a little bit different, so you'll have to let me know what you think and if you like this newer style of vlogging a little better, because I am trying to grow my skills. So that video is coming up. I talked about some other things video-wise that I'm thinking about. I've got lots of projects on the needles. Big projects, small projects, long-term projects, really quick projects. I've got all sorts of things. Designs, fun, everything, like the whole board. So we shall see what is done for next time. I did just volunteer for a crochet hat pattern test, like a summer hat using cotton yarn. So you'll probably see that next podcast. And like I said, I'm really interested in doing a souffle by Penrose Knits, and I have the yarn all ready for it, so I might cast that on soon for the More Souffle Please knit along that Professor Pearl is hosting. Looking at my stash, I've got all sorts of things. I would love to cast on a pair of socks for me, but I'm not quite sure which socks I want to make right now, like what I'm in the mood for, I guess. I'm thinking about it. I'm not quite sure. But there'll definitely be another pair of socks because I have a set of needles that are ready, and then if I happen to finish my Reverie socks soon, then I'll be able to cast on another pair because summer sock camp is going hard right now, and I have lots and lots of plans and goals for that, so I'll make sure to link my video for that up above so that you can watch my little video where I talk about what I hope to work on this summer for summer sock camp. So I want to get some more socks on the needles for that. So that's for sure happening. Maybe I'll cast on a pair while I'm in Utah. It's like my Utah socks. What do you think? I have lots to keep me busy. And so I'm really grateful. I've got lots of projects. I need to get going because I have a lot of editing to do on this video, and I only have like 2 days to edit before we're going on our trip. So I'm gonna wrap this up so that I can go start editing. So I'm gonna make sure that this video will come out for you so I can keep on schedule. Thank you so much for being here, and definitely let me know down below what projects you enjoyed seeing me work on and what you'd like to see more of. Let me know if there's anything that you think I should cast on soon. If you've been watching and seen some other projects I've talked about, there's lots of really neat things that are on my periphery and lots of things that I want to do, especially socks right now. So definitely let me know what you think I should work on next and what you think I should focus on over the next little bit before my next podcast. Also, I guess I'll also throw this in here. If there's any type of content you want to see from me besides podcasts, let me know down below because I have a ton of video ideas and I just am not sure what to do for you right now because I have a couple dozen videos and I can't do them all right now. So what do you want to see from me? What kind of content do you enjoy? Do you like vlogs? Do you like those? Do you want more reviews on products? Do you want more focus on different yarns or maybe different dyers? Do you want to do like a yarn stash tour, or like what do you want to see from me? Let me know down below because I would love to hear from you. I love chatting with you down in the comments below. And if you like this type of content, I would love for you to stick around. You're definitely welcome here. Any and all people are welcome here in my community. I hope that you are having a wonderful day and happy making. Bye.